Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Chris from Broken Nib RC. I got a new toy this week. I got tired of complaining about this radio, and especially when I went online, I've got I can't see it. I got a new scale project. Just kind of reworking some old trucks, and I got a new scale project that I'm working on, and I want to kind of do a little tow rig. So that obviously I'm going to need at least a 3-channel receiver, and then ended up going online and Spectrum, their 3-channel receivers are at least 55, $60, and I just I'm done. I'm done with it. Ever since the pandemic, obviously there was all this shipping stuff, and electronics in general, especially from overseas, is getting, the costs are getting pretty prohibitive, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, the shipping problems from like a year or two ago have kind of solved themselves, but the prices never go down, of course. So here we are. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not hanging this up. Obviously, I've got I don't have a big fleet of trucks, but I've got they're kind of getting up there now, and I like using one remote for everything. But I guess that's not going to happen now. But anyway, this is the second gen. I'm going to kind of retire this a little bit. One thing that is nice about this, especially out here, there's a lot of granite, and if you're on trail, I never can get into wearing a radio around my neck like with a lanyard. Although I'm probably going to have to learn with this guy, but just because it ends up, I don't know, I'm kind of a klutz, and it ends up like swinging around, and hits things like me. So, long story short, like this one, I just replaced the bar here, and it kind of works as like a grab handle. One few nice things about this rugged is the second gen put better rubber pads on it. So like if you're crawling around on a bunch of granite and you're at a really weird angle and you're crawling around rocks all day, and you just gotta, I drive one-handed usually, so obviously I can put this on a rock and not have it slide off of granite. That's probably not going to work with this one. Although this went ahead and went with the Noble. Mostly, well, here's the deal. Like, I put out a feeler. I've been wanting this radio for a while. They're really pretty cool for the same price range. And to be perfectly honest, I want a touchscreen. I am so tired. I had to live with this. The first gen is awful, and this isn't much better. And even this one screws me up, and I hate it. I hate it so much. And I could have just gotten another Spectrum with a dial. But you know what? I'm just sick of this. I want a touch screen. Screw it. I'll just give me a touch screen. So I was looking at the FlySky. There is the Radio Master M12. It was recommended to me, and those are pretty neat. Those are really cool. And I can't give you the full lowdown on them, but they're $150. The receivers, I think, for a 3-channel is around $23 or $24. And apparently the 5-channel is the same price, which is pretty good for 5, I think it's 5. Yeah. And of course, it's expandable up to 16 channels. I did hear online there was a bit of a learning curve with programming these things. And I'm not a radio expert by any means, especially when it comes to protocols and these receivers. I know I'm not an electronics expert, just knocking around. I like to have stuff that works. Spectrum tends to work because they have really solid software, and especially from the early days where they were 2.4 gigahertz has been really glitchy. In the beginning, it was very glitchy. I don't think it's perfect now, but it's a lot better than AM and even the FM radios that I used to run. Anyway, long story short, Decided I'm going to wait on the Radio Master, even though it's, pretty much about half the money. And went for the same price for about $2.99. Went with the Fly Sky, and it's so far so good. I'm actually really happy with this thing. Now I put a bunch of bling on it. I know. I changed the wheel. My concern was having it one handed, so I just got a. Yeah, I went a little nuts on Amazon and got a new wheel for it because even though you can swivel this around, which is awesome, especially if you're left-handed. Even though you can swivel that around, obviously I can't. Like with my hands, I can't really reach that. There's no way I'm going to reach the wheels, so I have to kind of crank it all the way back. But anyway, just ergonomic-wise, there's a bunch of choices with this, which is really cool. And with the thumb wheel, even though there's some little things, I'm probably going to put a little piece of foam on here, that kind of thing, and I might see if I can find some foam-backed adhesive to just put on the base in here. I went on Amazon and got a different wheel, and I like blue, so this is kind of nice. And honestly, this has the handle on it. It just screws in there. It's pretty basic. I can still reach everything. And the idea being that I would rather scratch this up than the actual radio. So there's a little bit of protection there. I'm still probably going to have to be careful, and of course run a lanyard. That's another thing. Obviously, the lanyard mount, although you can probably just throw it on here too, but the lanyard mount on here is a lot more stable than whoever the hell thought of this crap. Even though this is nice too, but it kind of throws the weight off, and it just becomes this weird pendulum thing. I was throwing a carabiner around this thing for a while, but even that, I don't know. With all this aluminum crap on here, and of course the radio is the base is the battery base and everything is aluminum. It's solid construction. It's really nice. It's gonna make this guy heavy, and we'll see how that works on the trail. But I don't know. I'm an adult. I don't mind. I can always set it down. I can take a break. I'm not in a competition. I'm not in a 24-hour. I just go out and crawl with friends. So I'm really not that worried about that, to be honest with you. This thing does take a second to turn on. What is nice is that, a lot of this, let's switch hands here. A lot of this is programmable, obviously. And, you got your different, you've got a lot of options. Let me put it that way. I highly recommend downloading the manual. It comes with a manual that's about the size of a postage stamp, and of course it's translated from Chinese. So, that's going to be fun. You go down, get the PDF off the website and study that. That's pretty much it. This came with a 4-channel receiver with the hidden antenna on it, but that's pretty much it. This came with a 4-channel receiver with the hidden antenna on it, but you do have to use a bind plug. I'll try to insert a picture on that. You can get the receivers I've seen run. I got one down to $35. Some of the newer ones on AMain, the 4-channel receivers without the external antenna, actually, when that's the one the only difference I could see is that one comes with a bind plug and the other one doesn't. The one that comes with the bind plug has a regular antenna on it, and the one that you have to use a bind plug has an internal antenna. That's pretty much it. It's the same protocol. It's everything. However, like AMain, you can get one for $32. I've seen them on Amazon from $37 to $39 a piece. And the 32 one is the one that comes with the radio. the $35 one, which I ended up getting an extra receiver just to start out with, is 30. I got it for 35. So, under $40, $60. I think on Amazon I saw $60 for two, which is not bad considering you get two 4-channel receivers. If you have more than one model, obviously it's when, so probably compared to the Radio Master. I've heard Radio Master. Is it Radio Master? I've heard they can sync up with Spectrum receivers for some reason. I'm not sure. See, this is what I mean. The protocols gets a little confusing. But and I know they have like bootleg receivers out there and knockoff receivers with the same protocols, I guess for Spectrum. But it's a little like buying batteries, like drill battery, like impact batteries for Milwaukee, and that you get the knockoffs, and you're basically, there's a lot of counterfeit stuff, and it doesn't really, it's just too risky to really, because some of those are just really bad. I don't want to do that with receivers, so I'd rather get something that's made by the company. So it tends to be a little bit more solid. So anyway, I'm babbling on. This isn't bad. Some of like, I'm trying to learn. It's a little weird because some of, like, these are pre-programmed to do throttle return. This is all like for racing, basically. So you've got two buttons. Both of these are programmable. You can run left or right-handed, obviously. There is a dial here, which I'm not sure what you use that for. These they're set up as trims, basically, to do trims on the fly. But of course, everything's programmable. So you've got that. You've got two switches here, paddle switches, which seem to do okay. Some of the language is a little different. It's kind of weird when you're setting up dig, and this is what threw me off, because I wanted to use dig on this button here, and some are. See, this is like, there's like a turn mode. Oops. Turn mode and trigger mode. So it's a little, it kind of threw me off. Turn mode is basically acts like a switch. Trigger mode, it returns to basically, it goes and it returns to neutral position. So it can get a little odd after a while. But some of them don't. Some of them you can program like a 2-position or 3-position switch. Some you can't. It gets a little confusing, honestly. But that's like not, I don't think that's much of a gripe. So pretty much, that's pretty much it. I didn't, I wanted to kind of introduce you guys. It seems to be getting to be a popular radio. I'm kind of curious. I'd like to do just do a little quick catch up in about 6 months and see how it's going. But yeah, I just kind of want to show this off a little bit. I don't know if I'd recommend it or not. We'll see. That's another thing. When you turn this thing off, you got to hold it for a couple seconds. Whatever. It's funny. You read the reviews and they go, the power button doesn't work. Well, it does. You just got to, but yeah, I mean, the learning curve isn't that bad. This battery obviously is removable. There's a battery in the handle. I think there's about 4 hours of runtime on this battery, and obviously this is a much larger 4,300 milliamp battery on the bottom. What you do is you turn. You turn when you're running your radio, this battery, have that fire up, and it gets a little low. You can turn this battery on, and it will charge the battery in the handle. It's basically like a backup battery, and you can use that as an alternative power supply to charge your phone, do whatever. And there's a USB-C interface. I'm assuming you could use this as a remote, kind of like this guy, for video games and that, but don't hold me to it. I have to research that and figure that out. I'm sure you can, though, because you download all your firmware and everything to give you the cables. You can do off your PC or your laptop, update the firmware on this, and you're good to go. So that's pretty much about it for now. I just kind of want to share this. I'm going to go do some running with some guys this weekend and see how I like or don't like. So far, everything seems to be adapting pretty well. And we'll take it from there. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later.